welcome back to our channel. Tonight, Bruce will be trying out a viewer suggestion on his tiny table saw he reviewed back in December. The question is, will this sharpen kitchen knives effectively? Let's find out, shall we?
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are talking once again about the Saker mini table saw that you see all over the internet. Back in December I got one for Christmas, and I did an unboxing video, my first impressions of it. And I made this thing here. Hopefully I remember to put the picture there. I made this thing here on video just to show you the basic operations and my first impressions of it. Well, it's 3 months later, and I've been using it quite a bit to make other little things. Here's something I just finished myself yesterday. Little wishing well for my wife's little tiny village she's making. I'll put a better picture of it up here now. It still has the safety issues. I made a few modifications, and I've learned a few things, and I want to share today. But the most important thing I want to share today is, out of the dozens of comments I got on the first video, which there is a link in the description for the first video, I was asked if it could be used as a knife sharpener. Now, I've been a chef for 40 years, and sharpening knives is very important to me. I always do the old school. I have a whole kit of these whetstones. That's how I sharpen my chef's knives, and my chef knives are German steel. They're quite old, but they still hold an edge to this day. So it got me curious, would this sharpen a knife? So I went through my junk drawer upstairs, and I found a couple knives that, these are the ones my wife are allowed to use. They're not sharp in any way, shape, or form. They're dull. They're very, very dull. So we're going to see if we can put an edge on it. They're just cheaper knives from Walmart, because I'm not putting my good knives through this test. We're going to test it today and find out if it works. I'm also going to show you how to change the saw blade in this, because it wasn't really clear in the directions the way they tell you to do it. Unless you have little itty-bitty tiny baby hands, you can't do it. So let's get started with that. So once again, this is the Saker mini saw that you can find on the internet. You can actually buy it at smartsaker.com. Smartsaker.com. And they range in price from $109 all the way down to $55. I got this one for $31, especially my wife found a special offer on Temu. And that's how I got mine. But yeah, I did price them today. And like I said, the same one is going for $109 on smartsaker.com. There's one on Temu that's the same thing. I don't think it comes with as many accessories, but that's $55. So if you're interested in something like this, like I said, check out my first videos where I can review it and teach you how to use it. Since that first video, I've made a few changes. I got rid of, where'd I put it? I got rid of the guard that goes on top, which I thought I had. There it is. This sits here. It just did nothing but get in the way. So I got rid of it. For the type of work I'm doing, I use this more than anything. And this gives me a nice square cut when I'm cutting wood to do for instance, the wishing well I just made. But I'm going to show you how to change the blade on this. So take this. Notice it's unplugged. If you turn it over, the directions say you go in through here to change the blade. You put an Allen key in this hole here to loosen it. Big pain in the butt if you have giant hands like mine. Didn't fit. So what I did, and I've already taken the screws out. There's 4 screws here, 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 and here. And they give you a little screwdriver with it. Just take those 4 little screws out, lift your tabletop up, set it aside, and now you have full access to your blade right here. So you can stick your Allen key, still use the hole there. Stick your Allen key in there, unloosen the center bolt, carefully hold the blade so it doesn't turn. Turn it lefty-loosey, righty-tighty. Take that little nut off. I'm just going to let it fall to the bottom so you can see what it looks like. And this whole piece comes off, this piece here. Set that aside. We're going to take our saw blade off. That's the one with the teeth. And I have the stone blade, which is what we're going to try. It's a grinding blade. And it's made of some kind of a metal. It's a rough. And I think it'll do good to sharpen knives. And we're going to put that in its place. Put that on there. Take our piece here. Get it started. Make it finger tight. Take my Allen key, go back through the hole again. Tighten it, carefully holding the blade so you don't wait. You're not going to cut yourself in a grinding stone, but still be careful. I don't want to see nobody get hurt. And there, that's in where it belongs. Then we're going to put our tabletop back on, line up our holes, and replace our screws. And I'll fast forward through the screw part. Take your little screwdriver, and we start. And that's how you change your blade. My blade's right here. We won't be using this, but this goes in here, of course. Back and forth to cut. Like I said, check out the first video if you want to see how this all works. And I got my disc sander here. I've already put 1,000 grit sandpaper on it. That's going to be for finishing our blade. But for right now, we're set to go. So we're going to plug it in now that we're ready. Now, a couple things I had shown you in the original video was this thing was bouncing all over the table. I fixed that situation, and I believe in the video I corrected myself. It was my fault. It comes with little rubber pads to put on the bottom. And you see now I have it set on, actually I have it set on full speed. Turn down to half speed, because that's where it started wiggling around last time. We're going to turn it on. It's not moving anymore. Not moving anymore because those little rubber pads are doing that job. Plus, I had it sitting on white paper so it would show up better. That might have something to do with it. Anyway, I am running this on full power today to do these knives because now I'm confident enough in the machine that it's not going to kill me. And I'm going to take the smallest knife and we're going to go against the grinding stone. This is where it takes a little touch. You don't want to be right up against the grinding stone, if you can see. You don't want the whole surface of the knife. Just before you turn it on, practice your angle. You want somewhere between 15 to 20 degrees. You don't know what that is? Well, got to eye it up sometimes. You don't want to go like this, just a hair off. And to practice your angle, go back and forth a couple times if you have to. Get it practiced, then we're going to start. I'm going to turn it on, and we're going to slowly glide our knife backwards on one side. Shut it off. And if you can see where the fresh grind is, oh, it's showing up on camera pretty good. That's the fresh grind which you just did. And that's only on the one side. We're going to do the same for the other side, gently pushing against the wheel. Not really hard, just gently. Let the wheel do its work. See, I did 2 passes on each side, and now I can feel that it's definitely sharper than it was, but it's still not there yet. You can see the edge that you just ground there, and then on this side, we had the same thing. Now I'm going to hit it on the sandpaper side at the same angle, just lightly to basically take any crud off of it. That's not going to make as much noise. Do one side, turn it over, and the other side. Now that's just a quick and dirty way, but you can see you can see the corrosion and stuff on this knife. It's an old knife. We do the paper test. See if it'll cut our paper now. Not quite there. Look, it's not quite there. Not quite there. So we're going to hit it again. Now you see I kind of buggered up the blade there a little bit. You can see the scuff marks because I did it and it went against it. It's not really going to hurt the functionality of the knife, but it doesn't look too pretty, does it? One more pass. Feels like it might be getting there. Let's try our paper test again. It's a little better. It's a little better. I'm just letting the weight of the knife go through. It is actually working better than it was. So that's our paring knife, and that was a quick and dirty way to do it. Did it work? Yes, but look, I buggered up my blade. So if it's an important knife to you, you might want to find a better way. So far, I still prefer my whetstone. Bigger knives. Let's do this bigger one. We're going to do this a little bit different, though. I'm going to unplug my saw and set it aside. This is a 6-inch chef knife. It's very cheap. Another one it's just one you might have laying around the house. It's also the most popular one for home cooks. Now, you can see the blade here. It looks like it's sharp, but it isn't. Here, let's give it the paper test. Just using the weight of the knife by itself. Nothing. It's not even cutting through the paper. So that's what we have to work with. Completely dull. Now, here's something I learned a long time ago. Take a Sharpie's pen and just draw, if you can see this, just draw along the edge. You see where the blade sharpener, the factory blade sharpener did it. I just want to color that in. Why are we drawing on our knife with a Sharpie? Well, when we go to grind it down, when that black is gone, we should have a decent edge on our knife. And this works for better knives too. Like I said, these knives are cheap, and I don't care if I ruin them. This is the first time I've done this way. I'm used to using a whetstone. Then we're going to do the other side. Same thing. We're just going to color in where you can see that factory sharpening is. Now, some people do it this way and they like it. Other people don't do it this way. I do it this way on my chef's knives, my good set for work. It just seems to give you a guide better. And then we'll set that aside, get our table saw back, make sure it's off, plug it in, and we're ready to start, same as we did with the smaller knife. I'm going to turn one. I'm actually going to turn this to an angle just for my natural hand movement because I think that's why I screwed up the first one. So then do the same thing. Try and get about a 15 to 20 degree angle. I'm also trying to keep my blade flush with this part of the blade not going down to the center. And if you can see on here, some of the black is moved. I'm actually maybe using too shallow of an angle, so I'm going to hit it again. It'll be a little more of an angle, or a little less of an angle. That's one side, and all the Sharpie is gone for the most part. Now we're going to do the second side. And I kind of have a problem doing this way. I haven't quite found the angle I need to use. So let's give it a go here. All right, with 2 passes, it looks like all my Sharpie's gone. It's feeling a little sharper. Not quite what I'm used to, but it's a little better. Now I'm going to hit it with the 1000 grit sandpaper thing here, but a disc sander, and just take the burrs off. Still trying to keep my angle. Now let's see what we have here. You see the blade is still a little corroded because it's an older blade, but my sharpening down there, I don't have anything to point with. If you can look, there's like two, here's where it starts to cut in, and then here's where we just ground. All the Sharpie is gone. Same with this side. Let's give it the paper test. I don't expect this to be super sharp because we just did it real quick, but just the weight of the knife, here goes. It's better. It's better. It's still not what I'm used to with my good steel. But that's our experiment. Did it? My question is, or the question was, will it work? Yes and no. Yes, it worked. Maybe if I had more patience, maybe if I put a heavier sandpaper on. With the materials they give me though in the kit for this mini table saw, I think it is average. Average for a home cook. For a professional chef, not so much. I think we're going to have to go back to the drawing board, and I think I'm going to stick with my whetstone for now until I find a better alternative. So, you know, like I said, I mean, it worked okay going through the paper. Not like I don't have my chef's knives here with me. I'd show you how easier my chef's knives go through. But when we first started, it wasn't going through the paper at all. So when a lot of people watched the first video, they had a lot of questions to ask about my little mini table saw here, and I did the best I could to answer them in the comments. The number one question, it wasn't even a question, they kept telling me that the blade is supposed to go up and down. And they said, oh, there's a hole there. And there is in some models. My model isn't. If there was, there'd be a hole right there. You stick a Allen wrench in, you could raise and lower the blade motor. This model doesn't have it. And a lot of people tried to correct me on that, and they still argued with me. I'm like, look, dude, I read the directions. And the directions on that thing weren't very well. They're very good. So that's why I showed you another way tonight how to change your saw blade. Much easier if you ask me. So leave in the comments what you think. Did you buy one of these? Are you using it? I'm actually happy with it now after I had to get around a few safety issues that I had. But I've been working with wood and machinery my whole life, from big band saws down to, radial arm saws to little things like this. And like I said, I build little things like this. I just got this done yesterday for my wife. And this is really good for that once you get used to it and practice safety measures. So that's all I had to say about it tonight. I hope you enjoyed the video. Like I said, I left the original video in the description. And check back my channel because I have something else. I bought another project from another toy, small tool, whatever you want to call it. I just bought it from Temu the other day. I couldn't pass it up. And it's coming in here this week. So my next video will probably be reviewing that. And what that is a belt sander with a grinding wheel on it. And I'm going to try that on here. This is the knife I didn't do tonight. I'm going to try it on this knife. This is another knife that won't cut dirt. Won't cut dirt. Won't cut anything. It'll rip it. I can push it through, but it won't cut dirt. And it's another cheap one. I just don't have the guts to use my expensive knives on these things. But hey, this will cut an onion. That's all my wife really needs it for. And I always say a sharp knife is safer, but this definitely feels sharper than when I started. In fact, I'm not going to do on my palm what I did at the beginning of the video with this now. So it works to a point. That's my opinion. Tell me what you think in the comments, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.
Well, I guess what Bruce is saying is that it works, but not to his expectations. Maybe he just needs a little more practice to get a better technique. Anyway, check out the original review video in the description and let us know what you think. And yes! For now, I am back after a short imaginary vacation. My name is Izzy, and thanks for watching.
It's just Bruce, he don't bite. Hello.